Alright everybody, welcome back! Today we are covering the J29D. This is an old Swedish premium that I believe was removed from sale. It's pretty fun and it was actually requested by one of my YouTube members. Ben, or Get This What's That. So if you'd like to go ahead and request a video, feel free to go ahead and join my membership. Or if you just like to join the channel in general, I'd really appreciate the support. Regardless, though, that's not what we're here for. Today we're covering the J29D, and this right here is actually, like, unironically one of my most fun planes to fly. This is one of the planes that I've gone ahead and got an ace crew for, which, for those of y'all who don't know, is like well over 1 million RP earned in it. Even though I already had everything in the Swedish tree at the time. Purely because I just enjoy flying it. The J29 is basically contemporary to the Sabre and the MiG-15. It kind of has aspects of both when it comes to its flight performance. So now, of course, you can see it. The J29D does have an afterburner, so you get better acceleration, especially high altitude performance, and a lot of other stuff at the BR. And you can see I'm pulling away from this G91R3 right here, at least to a degree. I'm able to get up to speed, but he does have a higher speed than me. You are slower than a lot of the other stuff at this BR, like the Sabres, and for sure the MiG-17. I believe the MiG-15 as well. However, you make up for that with some pretty decent maneuverability, and the roll rate in particular is definitely better than the MiGs. Now, the G91s and the Sabres are going to outroll you, but you can keep up with pretty much all the subsonic dogfighters in a dogfight, I would say, as long as you use flaps effectively. That's the big thing with this thing, is using your flaps. Now, it only gets combat and landing flaps, no takeoff flaps, so if you're trying to get a little bit of extra turn out of it at lower speeds, you got to be pretty careful, because the landing flaps will rip when they get fully extended, like at almost any speed above like 330 kilometers an hour or so. But you're kind of able to cycle them in and out to keep it at like an angle that they won't rip, but they still give you extra speed, and you'll see me doing that quite a bit in this video. The big thing with this plane, though, that I enjoy the most are the guns. Now, it's armed with 4 ACANs, and for those of y'all who don't know, these are licensed produced ADANs with a faster fire rate. But I don't know what it is, if it's the fact that it's 4 of them and they're all grouped so closely together, but they do more damage on this plane than any other plane that I use that has ACANs. Like, they're already pretty decent guns, but holy crap, they shred everything they touch when I'm using this thing. I can think, like, on one hand, the amount of times I've gotten a hit or a crit with it. Almost always, they just die. They are that good, and it's part of the reason why I enjoy this plane so much. I've said it in other videos, and I'll say it again. If you give me a gun which has worse velocity but better damage, I will take that every time. I'd rather hit someone and kill them than hit them 4 times and only get damage. For me, at least, I would rather take the effort into learning the guns and then get reliable damage. And especially in like a lower BR dogfighting plane like this, it really does help. And you can see all I have to do is just touch them and they explode. Now, this thing also does have the premium multipliers, of course. You saw it actually has the 795% silver lion modifier, which is the highest that a plane can have. So I shot that dude, and I got 15,000 silver lions. So it's also a really good grinder for those of y'all. If it ever does come back up for sale, like I said, I believe it's removed right now. But if it ever does, I probably would recommend picking this thing up if you have the spare money. As you can see, I'm actually catching this F40 Sabre, which is above me in ER. Like I said, this thing has that really good acceleration because of the afterburner. It's also got some really nice energy retention. Now you see he does pull harder than I do, but it's not drastically more. It's at least relatively close, and then I'm able to pull inside of him. I mean, it mostly just comes down to pilot skill at that point. And like I was saying with the guns, they're good enough that even bombers like this Canberra right here, you just hit them and they're going to die. Which, although you don't fight them that often at this BR, it is nice, especially compared to stuff with, for example, 50 cals, we're going to have to sit there and fill them, and then if I had to do that, then I might have died of those bombs right there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next clip. Now, this right here is going to be an up tier. Now, you're going to see a lot of other G91s and stuff like that in here. In this BR, you're going to see a lot of G91s, MiG-15s, a few MiG-17s sprinkled in. And same thing right here. I take off his wingtip, then I kablooey him. But you see there's an F-104 over there. We already covered it in this channel, but this thing cannot catch the F-104. You're going to have to get lucky whenever you're fighting them. You're not going to get the dogfight them. If they do decide the dogfight, like this G91 is right here, it's not even going to be close. You'll just be able to easily turn inside of them. The problem is most F104 players are going to realize that, oh wait, I'm faster than them, and they're just going to fly away, and there's really nothing you can do. These shells have some decent velocity, but they're not going to be able to catch an F104 at top speed when you're more than like 500 meters behind them. Now, you can't pull with a G91, but you have much better energy retention than they do. So you can see, I'm just going to go up. So even though I couldn't pull inside of the G91 right there, it doesn't matter because I'm just climbing. And he's almost stalled out. Then I can just pop my landing flaps and go back in again. Energy is the name of the game in this plane. The really nice thing about it is that you can either out-energy people or out-turn them, or both in some cases. But in this case, we definitely have the energy advantage over the G91, and it's not a significant turning disadvantage either. You can see, like I was saying, where you got to cycle the flaps a little bit. Once you get to like 330, you're fine. And the landing flaps can really help you in these dogfights. You do have to watch out for the rips, like I said, but as long as you can get that down, I'm able to turn inside of G91s with them out. Because you can see they come down a lot. Only problem is it did mess up my shot right there because I couldn't drop my nose. Because they just provide so much lift. But people aren't going to be expecting you to be able to do this. So if you're able to master it, then the combination of the afterburner with these landing flaps can make you surprisingly effective in these low-speed dogfights. Although it does just depend on if the person you're fighting either is in a better plane than you or actually knows what they're doing. Luckily, in my case, I don't have to worry about it with this fellow, and he's just going to go ahead and immediately start to run away. And the problem is I accelerate better than him, and my guns are lethal. So I just click on him and he dies. So, by the way, in case you're wondering why my gear was out, I usually toggle my gear to get my landing flaps out, and I forgot to go ahead and pull them in. So I would recommend setting up a dedicated button, but unfortunately I haven't gotten ahead and done that myself. So, got a Cougar over here. That plane is just kind of sad. It's missing quite a bit of performance that it should have. It should have an all-flying tail. It's also missing some speed and I believe some engine power as well, but we just shred him. This plane is just lethal in these head-ons, especially because you basically get cheap man's stealth belts. You don't have to pay for them because these guns don't have tracers. So as long as you can aim them, or even if you can't, like I think most people could hit that head-on I just hit right there. It's not hard at all, and people aren't going to be expecting it. But this plane is very strong as long as you're fighting other subsonics like Sabres, Cougars, Panthers, G91s, of course, MiGs. It's like a Sabre and a MiG-15 had a baby, is the best way I can put it, with better guns. The problem is, of course, that it is sitting at 8.7, so you're going to be fighting a lot of stuff that is faster than you, stuff that has, IG missile, other stuff like that. The good news is you're usually on the side of the Russians, so you don't have to worry about the SE-25s, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily all sunshine and roses even in that case, because then you'll be sitting there dogfighting and you'll either get team killed by an R60 or someone's going to steal your kill. But as long as you don't mind that, if you're looking for a fun dogfighter with good guns, I'd recommend this plane if you can pick it up at some point. Otherwise, for those of y'all who have it, go ahead and give it a shot. It's really enjoyable. But hope y'all enjoy the video, and I'll see you next time. So, peace.